Oh, wow.
Saw it twice, so I was like, oh my god.
That was just weird.
I always used to see a light coming up,
Yeah.
like a headlight, but there was nobody there.
And when we hear people saying, why didn't you think to take a picture? You know, with all the phones, with all the cameras in the world, why is nobody capturing any solid evidence? If this intelligence is so far ahead of the game, there's no way anybody will ever capture it, not unless it's on its terms. And for those who say everything is love and light, and the visitors are here to help mankind, listen to this.
If you summed it up in one of your references in your book, there's something or someone wanted me silenced and certainly delivered a horrific portion of pure terror. It was designed to close me down and go into myself for a number of years, and it worked.
Hello everybody, hope you're all well, and thank you if you've liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, please consider doing so. Today I'm going to cover one of the strangest UFO related stories that you're ever going to encounter. Very, very strange. And if you didn't believe that there was a darker side to the subject of UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, perhaps after hearing what I've got to share with you now, might change your mind. On the Truth Proof channel, we recently spoke to a former MOD contractor who, as part of his job back in 2013, had been given a property to live in whilst undergoing the works that he was doing. And one of the strangest things occurred whilst living in that property. I think it was June 2013. And it raises many more questions than it gives us answers to.
I've focused on one of them. It was approximately, I don't know, roughly about 10 foot by 10 foot, approximately about, I don't know, maybe the size of a transit van, and it was rotating. They were metallic bronze, what I could work out, and they had three strobing lights on one side.
And what was it that John actually saw with his partner that the occupants of these spheres of light thought so important that they had to scare the life out of him in order to stop him from talking about it? It's taken this long for this man to actually start sharing the terrifying events of what happened in June 2013. So to break it down for you guys, John was looking out over the sea with his partner early evening when a series of lights began to appear over the sea.
We're approximately around about 6:30, 7 p.m. Sun's just starting to go down. We're seeing a line of 7 lights, bright lights.
So you drew that, I'm assuming, not long after seeing them?
Yeah, no more than a mile away. And this exactly what happened. You had the 7 lights in a line, and one would shoot off at fantastic speed. By the time you blink your eye, that was replaced with another one. And these were going in all different directions and different speeds. They were orange and they were white at the same time. When you were looking through just your naked eye, you couldn't look at that specific light for maybe 2-3 seconds. Then you had to focus elsewhere.
So what were these orange spheres of light? What were these spheres of light that was almost orange glowing to white? What exactly were they? And does it have implications for what we're looking at over the sea at Bempton and the surrounding area?
Another one.
The light didn't change, did it? No. That was the odd thing, that if it turned...
Yeah, another one. Now it's gone real bright.
There, Ian. There.
Yeah.
Got it again. Is there something structured to these craft? Is that what we're going to call them? Because After John's observations through the binoculars, it becomes clear that there was something much more than just spheres of light over the sea. He described seeing bronze to copper coloured pyramid or triangular shaped objects slowly rotating within the spheres of light, with glowing white balls of light on the face of the copper pyramid or triangle.
The ex-wife says, was nipping to get a pair of binoculars. There's an old pair in the garage drawer there, and she come out with them, and I've focused on one of them, and that's the drawer. And what it was
obviously these objects have some kind of intelligence residing inside them, whether we look on it as some kind of bipedal creature with arms, legs, ears and eyes, or whether we just accept that it's an intelligence that we just simply don't understand. Something was inside them, and what followed was incredible. So after seeing the spheres of light over the sea, birds began to hit the windows of the property. Not just one species of bird, not just a sparrow being chased by a sparrowhawk and it hits the window. Many birds came into contact with the windows of the home and died, unfortunately.
Cup of tea, we went to bed, say approximately about 10ish, and then starting to drop off, and then around about 15-20 minutes later, I heard there was a banging against the windows, and it was a loud bang, a loud noise. Jumped up, what on earth, what's going on? Went out into the living room, and something was hitting the windows, and the same in the kitchen window. And then we put all the lights on. What on earth's happening here? Yeah, it was approximately about 10:30 at night by this time. And went outside, and then they were starlings. I picked up 10, and my partner picked up 2. Put them in black bags. The starlings had been head first into the window.
So what is that telling us? I mean, if we watch films on alien related subjects, we see strange things like this happening, which tells me that the people who've written these films, the people who are documenting these strange occurrences, aren't just doing it from some kind of wild, fantastic imagination. They're drawing on life experiences of other people, because John's experience is pointing question. It kind of answers those questions. The birds hitting the windows. What kind of mechanisms were in place? What kind of blanket of strangeness was placed over John and his partner's home after seeing the object that could create such an effect that birds would become totally disorientated and fly into the windows of the home? It really doesn't make no sense, but it's like something from a movie. So after seeing the lights over the sea, things begin to take an even stranger turn. And then as night begins to fall, things become even stranger. During the early hours of the morning, after John and his partner go to bed, they're woken up to the sound of a hissing sound, the sound of static. They both get out of bed, go downstairs, and the TV is switched on. There's a white screen that just looks like static, and there's a hissing sound coming from it, just like static. A bit like on the Poltergeist film. See, we're drawing similarities. I'm sure these filmmakers were fully aware and fully versed in the strangeness that happens when people see these things of a truly unexplained nature. So they turn the TV off and go back to bed. Short time later, they're back in bed, settled down and getting ready for a night's sleep. The TV has come back on. Nobody else is downstairs, nobody else is in the property. Yet the TV is on and hissing and looking like static electricity on the screen once again. Very strange.
And then we went back into bed. And then again, probably, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes later, the TV come on really loud, full volume. The two were jumped out, and the TV was on his. It was static, and the volume was on full belt. And we just looked at each other and went, wow, what's going on here? This is not normal.
All of this after seeing the lights over the sea. Jonny also noted during the night, when they went downstairs to look at the TV, that the kitchen unit doors had come open, or at least some of them had, which is something that's highly unusual. You wouldn't expect anything like that to happen. There's no reason for it to happen. But it did, after seeing the lights over the sea. John's initial contact to me was to tell me about one of the most horrific nights that he'd ever had. Obviously after seeing the spheres of light over the sea. And he firmly believes that the night that followed was a warning of some kind to him, not to speak about what he'd seen or experienced. And during the night, whilst he lay sleeping, he began to dream.
The only thing I can do is I put describe as undesirable dreams of pure evil.
But he describes it as almost a living dream, where the most things imaginable happened to himself, members of his family, close friends. So vivid and so detailed was this dream and graphic that I'm probably limited to what I can actually tell you guys. Needless to say that he saw a lot of close friends, close family, the dearest people in his life, in the most horrific way. And he felt and carried that pain during this living dream, to the point where he even felt the warmth of these people. Think hard about what I'm saying there. It was absolutely terrifying.
But you are actually feeling that pain and terror. As much as them, you are feeling it 10 times as worse. And it's to each individual person. I was feeling that with all of my family and the missus and everyone who meant something to us, including my grandparents. I felt.
There's so many elements to Jonny's encounter, both physical, non-physical, metaphysical. It's got everything. How can something enter a person's dreams? Well, if we consider the alien abduction scenario, we certainly know that these beings, and I know from my own experience, can speak directly into a person's mind. So they understand the workings of the human mind. So is it too much of a leap to suggest that these intelligences can't also show people things within their dreams? Something so graphic, so terrifying, that it will literally scar and trouble this man's mind for the rest of his life. But then we've got the physical. That can't be denied. What could open the kitchen doors? On 2 occasions. And they've clearly got no regard for life, whether it's human life or animal life, because something caused the birds, the wildlife, to literally fly into the windows of the property and kill themselves. So any intelligence, we'll say alien, non-human, use that word lightly, any intelligence that is quite happy to let that happen is not really here for the good of mankind. Would you say? I would. So we've got the non-physical, we've got the physical, the opening of the doors, then the interference with the electrical equipment. It tells me that the phenomena, whatever it may be, could be listening through all our devices, listening to our thoughts. And when we hear people saying, why didn't you think to take a picture? You know, with all the phones, with all the cameras in the world, why is nobody capturing any solid evidence? If this intelligence is so far ahead of the game, there's no way anybody will ever capture it, not unless it's on its terms. And obviously it does not want anything of its identity, of its being known to mankind. Hence, when you get a little bit too close, the shutters go up and the terrifying experiences begin. Let's move on. Good lad. If you've found this strange, somewhat graphic, highly unusual account of interest, please consider pressing the like and subscribe. And for truth proof, we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Come on then, Bobby. Come on. Good boy. Let's go and have a little adventure. Come on. Don't go over there.
Oh, wow. Saw it twice, so I was like, oh my God.
That was just weird.
I always used to see a light coming up,
Yeah.
like a headlight, but there was nobody there.